Hey again, and welcome back to another episode of the Ultimate WordPress Guide podcast. I'm your host, Peter Schoenfeld, and thanks for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, remember to subscribe to our podcast on Apple and Spotify. Check out our website, ultimatewpguide.com, and our YouTube channel, The Ultimate WordPress Guide, for everything WordPress. Now, in today's episode, we're going to talk about hosting, cloud hosting in particular, and my guest on the show today is Moiz from Cloudways. Welcome to the show, Moiz.
Thank you, Peter, for having me here. Feels good to be talking to someone from the community again. And yeah, how are you, man? How's everything on your end?
It's my pleasure to have you. Everything is good, thank you, and thanks for joining us. We're very happy to have you on the show today.
Yeah, same here, man.
Good. So let's start with a bit of an intro on Moiz. Who's Moiz? What does he do? Where are you from? Let the community know.
My name is Moiz, as Peter correctly pointed out. I have worked for Cloudways as a WordPress community manager. I've been associated with the company since the past 5 years. I basically look after community connections, partnerships, and other communications with the brand. That's what I do during my work time. In my free time, I like to watch football, I like to play games, I like to travel a lot. The pandemic has, did put a stop to that, but
cramped your style a little bit, yeah? No travel, unfortunately.
Yeah, but that happened to a lot of people, so I didn't feel too bad about it, because some things are more important than just, in your hobbies.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what about now? Are you back to some level of traveling yet, or still not too much?
Yeah, I mean, I did travel to Turkey a few weeks back because that's where I got the chance. I thought, okay, so things are getting back to normal. Why not take the chance? Because you never know. There might be a 7th wave or an 8th wave, and things go back to being closed again. So I took that chance and I went back to traveling. And apart from that, in our office, we are also getting things back to normal. We were on work from home since the past 1.5 years, and just now we have started to call back the teams for 3 days a week. So we work in office Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, and Monday and Fridays we work from home. So slowly and gradually we're getting things back to normal again.
It's good. It feels good to be back, doesn't it? Yeah. It almost feels a little strange.
It does, because when the pandemic hit, we all felt like, okay, so this is the new normal. We are going to be stuck in our homes for the rest of our lives, not going anywhere, working from our homes. But things are getting back to normal, and credit to everyone who has worked tirelessly to make this happen.
Excellent.
Yeah.
No, good stuff. Now, thanks for the intro. Yes, you've been with Cloudways for the last 5 years. I'm sure a lot of folks listening and watching knows exactly who Cloudways is, but for the ones that don't, give us a bit of an overview of the company. What is Cloudways? What do they do?
Okay, so Cloudways is a managed cloud hosting provider with a focus on making hosting simple for everyone and performance. So what we do is basically we allow users to launch and deploy their server and applications on Cloudways using our intuitive platform, and then manage their servers as well. So we offer a number of different features on our platform that allows users to manage their server and application. And the basic idea behind the platform is to take the burden of managing servers off their shoulders. Because if you are a business and you want to deploy a site for your business, a website or an application for your business, your main focus would still be to generate as much sales or as much business as you want.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to spend time managing your servers and application, and this is where Cloudways comes in. We do that for you while you focus on your own business. So the way we see ourselves and the way we want customers and the general public to see Cloudways is that we allow businesses to focus on what they do best and just leave the rest to us. Okay, so we are an extended partner, you can say, for businesses that host their websites on Cloudways, in a way that we basically takes care of all the technical stuff related to cloud hosting and application management, while they focus on growing their business even more.
Good. Yeah, and I mean it's one less thing to worry about. Yeah, it's like you say, it's a fundamental layer to an online business. Yeah, is
Absolutely.
hosting.
Yes,
And that's why my next question is, and you've touched on some of it already. Choosing the right hosting provider is fundamental. Yeah, to your success for a number of reasons. Yeah, security, especially nowadays. Having the right backup system, disaster recovery, the ability to scale, and obviously, like you said, partnering with individuals and businesses alike, to not worry about that component when it comes to the online business. So what would you say? What makes it such an important, critical factor to the online business? To choosing the right hosting provider.
Well, there are a few things that makes hosting an absolute necessity, a good hosting an absolute necessity for a business. One of the key factors, and probably the key factors, is your revenue. So, for example, if you are an online business and you want to generate business through your website or application, the last thing you want is your website to not be available 24/7. Right? So you want your website to be available to your audience 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that is where a good hosting provider plays its part. So if your website is not available, your website is down, your website is slow, sluggish, it will affect the user experience, and ultimately it will affect your sales and your business. So
Absolutely.
that is probably the main reason why you should invest. I would always call it investment. You would invest in a good hosting provider and a quality hosting provider that not only promises uptime but also acts upon it, because there are a lot of hosting providers that obviously promises 100% uptime and things like that, but actually act upon it is the main thing. The second most fundamental thing is security. You wouldn't want your data to be breached or compromised in any way or form, whether it's your data or your customers' data. So your customers come to your site, they buy something from your site, and they enter their credit card number. They do that because they trust you with that information. And if you're not doing everything in your hands to make sure that data is safe, then you're missing out on a lot of things. So uptime and security, performance, these are three of the most fundamental factors on why you should be investing in a good hosting provider.
Good. No, you're absolutely right. The same way that you as a business rely on your hosting provider as a partner, your customers rely on you. Yeah. So if something does go wrong, it's a ripple effect. So choosing the right host is definitely the best place to start.
Yeah. Now, and I would like to add another thing here, and that is support. So you would want, as a business, that your hosting provider is there for you whenever you come across any issue. Because to be very honest, if you're running a server, complications are bound to occur. And all right, you can't run from it, but you can have a team with you that is there for you to fix those issues and fix those complications. And that is where a good support comes in. Cloudways as a brand has invested a lot in support over the years, because we felt that support is something that businesses require in order to run their businesses more smoothly. So support is another thing why you should be investing in a good hosting provider.
And I mean, that should almost come first. Yeah. The after sale is also is critical to the customer success. You can imagine running an online store. You've got tens or hundreds of thousands of people visiting your site on a daily basis, and losing uptime for 5-10 minutes, an hour, 2 hours is detrimental to your business. So having someone on the other end of the line, knowing what they're talking about is very important.
Yeah,
good. Now, we talked about, you mentioned a couple of hosting providers, and obviously it's no secret Cloudways is not the only company in that space. There are a lot of others. To name a few, you've got SiteGround, you've got Kinsta, WP Engine, Flywheel. All of these guys offering managed WordPress hosting of some sort. I know not all of them offer cloud hosting per se. Yeah, you get your traditional shared hosting, VPS hosting, etc., etc. What makes cloud hosting different to traditional hosting?
Okay, so I won't go into explaining how traditional hosting works. I would just keep the discussion towards how cloud hosting is different and how cloud
Yes.
hosting is actually better than traditional hosting. So one of the key factors that makes cloud hosting better than traditional hosting is scalability. So when you are running a business, you are bound to grow as a business in terms of revenue, in terms of the number of customers, in terms of the people that are coming to your website. So when you're growing, you need your hosting provider to grow with you, right? If your hosting provider is restricting your growth in any shape or form, then that hosting provider is not suitable for your sort of business that is continuously growing month after month, year after year. So scalability is something that makes cloud hosting better than traditional hosting. How? Because just to give you an example, on Cloudways, you can scale your servers. You can scale up your servers in less than 5 minutes. All right, you don't need to change your plan. You don't need to select a new server. Through our platform, you can scale up your servers in less than 5 minutes, and that is what allows businesses to not spend too much time on thinking about the technicalities of cloud hosting, but rather than thinking about the growth. So if you are a growing business, your hosting is the last thing that you want to worry about. You want to worry about how you're going to manage your sales. You're going to worry about how you're going to manage your new employees. You're going to worry about how you're going to manage your traffic. But how you're going to manage your server, that is not what you want to think about. And that is where cloud hosting comes in. Cloud hosting allows you to scale your businesses quickly and easily. Second thing is security. Cloud hosting is more secure than traditional hosting because of a number of different technicalities, isolation and containerization. I won't go into that. But cloud hosting offers better security and better performance as well because of uptime, availability, the network of servers that cloud hosting is spread on. So in terms of how cloud hosting is better than traditional hosting, scalability, performance, security. And that is what almost every cloud hosting provider focuses on.
Okay. I want to quickly jump back. Sorry to interrupt you, Mahesh. I want to quickly just jump back to scalability. I know the sort of common scenario is you're expecting more traffic. Let's say during a holiday period, you want to scale up.
Yeah.
How flexible is the platform to allow you to scale down if you need to?
Yeah. So that is a question that comes across to our support team and even the community team that. Okay, so I have scaled up my servers. The holiday season is now gone. My traffic is back to normal. I don't want such a big server now. How do I do that? Okay, so the answer to this question is on our platform, you can do that in like 10 minutes. How? You just have to clone your server and then go back to the settings that you were on previously. That is the case if you are, I know that I will be touching these points later on in this discussion as well, but the number of different providers that we offer, the process depends on that as well. So for example, if you're on AWS, you can scale down from the platform just the way you scaled up. All right, you just have to, it's like a volume button. You increase the volume and then you can decrease the volume as well. All right, and this is how you can scale up and down your servers on AWS. But on different providers, you would need to, clone your servers in order to scale down. The process is not that easy, but it's still very simple.
Yeah.
All right. So obviously they have the option of scaling down their servers once the holiday season is over, once their campaign or whatever is over, and now they're back to normal. Obviously, they won't want a server that is more than what they require. Obviously, because they would have to pay for it as well. So they can scale down their servers from the platform very easily and very quickly.
Good. That's good to know because it is a real case scenario. Yeah. Sometimes you need more, sometimes you need less.
Absolutely.
And that flexibility has to be built in.
It's the case with almost every customer that we have because if you talk about e-commerce, the holiday season is just around the corner and they would be looking to scale up the servers. And if they can't scale down, that's the entire point is dead because you would want your cloud hosting to be flexible, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
And that is where flexibility comes in.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about the holiday season in just a moment. I'm excited to see what you guys are doing. I know, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, even Halloween. I know you guys are doing some things for Spooktober, if you could call it that. But before we get there, let's talk about trends. Scalability is obviously a big part. I read an interesting article the other day on a study done by Fortune Business Insights that outlined the global market size of hosting today is around 73 billion, which is a significant amount. But they do predict that by 2018, it's going to be around 270, 270 billion. That's massive. We're sorry, not 280. I mean 228. We're already in 2021, so we're not backtraveling. So by 2028, it's going to be roughly 270 billion, which is massive. And I mean this includes things like green hosting, sustainability, multi-cloud, virtualization, scalability. You've already talked about some of it. How is Cloudways planning to scale up with this prediction and be in that and operate in that space in a couple of years' time?
Okay, so whatever trends that we read about, I'm just talking about my team as a product. The pandemic has changed a lot of that because whatever was predicted was about to happen in 2022 or 2023. The pandemic changed, had a lot of say in it. Because what we have observed is that during 2020, a lot of people, we had a spike in our business, how that a lot of people with their traditional businesses jumped to online business, all right? And that was the need of the hour because of the lockdown.
You needed to get away from brick and mortar, because people can't visit your store anymore.
Absolutely, and that is something that wasn't predicted before. And we had to deal with it with the resources that we already had. And what the trends that we are seeing, how things will go forward in 2022 and beyond, is that online is inevitable. It's bound to happen. You can't run from it. You can't dread it. It's bound to happen, as Thanos famously said. I'm inevitable. So online is inevitable as well. And
best to get on board now before it runs away from you.
Absolutely, because you want to get on that train before it leaves the station. Because if you don't do that now, you're going to suffer. And suffer in business sense. So what we see in 2022 is an increase in brick and mortar businesses to jump online, because those who haven't already done so will obviously see, okay, so this is what happened in the previous years. A lot of physical businesses jumped online and grew their businesses online, and so okay, let's do that as well. So in 2022, what we are seeing is that a lot of businesses would be looking to take their businesses online, regardless of how the pandemic unfolds in the future. They would be looking to take their businesses online. And you spoke about sustainability and things like that, and changes in technology and everything. What we see is that, and what we have observed in the community, I've already mentioned this point before, that people are now looking for top class support. This is what is the talk of the town at the moment, and we predict that in 2022 we would need to work more on our support in terms of the resources that we have in our support team and the way we communicate to customers and the solutions that we have for them, and the response time and everything. Because once you have a spike in customers, you would need to make sure that you have the support team to actually cater to those customers. All right.
That turnaround time needs to be even shorter.
Shorter, because as things are unfolding throughout the world, you would see that people look for quicker response time, and if they don't get what they want, obviously they're going to be pissed off. So this is the last thing, as a hosting business, this is the last thing that you would want your customers to feel. This is as a business, this is what we have predicted. This is what we have seen over the years, and we think that in the next few years, this is how it's going to be unfolded.
Yeah, and I mean that's part of every. Let's talk about cloud businesses, SaaS business, any business for that matter. That's that's serving a customer. Part of your customer success strategy needs to be continuous improvement. Yeah, people have higher expectations. Yeah, everything drives us to having higher expectations, and if you as a service provider cannot meet the customer's expectations, they're going to go to someone else. Yeah, that's the reality. Good, interesting. One question I'd like to ask, obviously, and we know from last year, you said already, COVID and everybody wanting to move their businesses online had a massive impact on the web industry itself. How has that been specifically for Cloudways? Well, what sort of uptake did you guys see? What sort of increase did you see? What did it do for your business?
Okay, so what we saw in the previous years, just by the start of the pandemic, was that a lot of, as you mentioned, brick and mortar businesses went online, and our e-commerce customers basically increased dramatically. And this is something that we did not predict. Obviously, no one knew what's going to happen. But over the last year, I would say 2020 was one of our best years in terms of business. Why? Because of people, getting on, and there was a euphoria, I would say, a panic situation where people, were looking to get their businesses online because of the lockdowns and everything. And we had some issues as well when it comes to support, because we did not predict those numbers. Obviously, we do forecast. So, for example, we are forecasted we would be entertaining X number of customers in this year, but that X number of customers was multiplied by a higher number. So we did not predict that, and we obviously had a limited number of support resource at the back. So we came across, we encountered a number of different issues in terms of support and everything. But the co-founders, and the upper management, they managed and handled it absolutely well. We had a great year in terms of business. Obviously, COVID, other things were suffering, but in terms of business, everything was great.
I mean, let's be honest, it affected everybody equally. Everybody was caught by the same surprise, and it was about who could innovate and who could adapt the quickest, to scale with this new way. And it's good to know and good to hear. Look, like I said, everybody has hiccups, everybody fails here and there, but it's about how you recover and how quickly you can get up and move on. So that's good. So let's talk a little bit about, I mentioned it before, there are a lot of people in the space, a lot of other companies in the space that offer hosting. What makes Cloudways different? Why should someone come to Cloudways? Why should they move away from traditional, maybe another cloud hosting provider, and come to you?
Okay, so there are a number of different things that differentiates Cloudways from its competitors. One of those is the number of cloud providers that we offer. Usually, when you go to a cloud hosting provider, you will find a standard provider, a standard infrastructure behind their plans. At Cloudways, you're going to find 5 different cloud providers that you can choose from. So that brings in the freedom of choice and flexibility of clouds. So we have DigitalOcean, Vultr, Linode, AWS, and Google Cloud. All of them are different when it comes to, first of all, pricing. AWS and Google Cloud obviously on the higher price end, and DigitalOcean, Vultr, and Linode on a lower price. Performance-wise, AWS and Google Cloud are slightly or significantly sometimes better. It all depends on the environment that you have. I'm just saying on a generic basis. AWS and Google Cloud are better in terms of performance, but that being said, it doesn't mean that the rest of the 3 are any bad. It just depends on what the customer actually wants. So
exactly, depends on your need, right? You've got options to choose from. You pick whatever works best for you.
Yeah, so giving this freedom of choice to our customers, we allow almost every user to come and choose Cloudways. How? So, for example, if you are a small-time blogger and you have a small website that entertains around 1,000 visitors per month, you wouldn't want a $30 per month hosting. All right,
Mhm.
you can work with a $10 per month or $12 per month hosting. All right, and this is what Cloudways offers as well. So if you are a small-time blogger and or if you're a small business for that matter, at that point you would be looking to cut your budgets, you would be looking to save on different corners.
Save on
So
overheads,
yeah, everything. So you can choose a $12 per month hosting initially, and once your business starts to grow, you can scale your server up. All right, and that is one of the differentiating factors that we have on Cloudways, that you can choose a $12 per month hosting and you can choose the $3,000 per month hosting, and then it depends on your need.
Yeah.
Right? And this is where the second differentiating factor comes in, the pricing. We don't have a standard plan for a specific user. You can create your own plan, right? So you can choose a Vultr server, you can choose a $12 server, you can either choose a $3,000 server. That's up to you. All right. So we have specific plans for different cloud providers. So that is again what makes Cloudways different from its providers. Another thing is our pay-as-you-go model. So what is pay-as-you-go model? It's what you pay is what you use is what you pay. All right. So for example, if you have used a certain number of resources, a certain amount for a certain amount of days, that is exactly what you're gonna pay. You're not gonna pay anything more. You're not gonna pay anything less. And one of the use cases for this is, for example, if you have the holiday season coming up, all right, and you would need a bigger server for 15 days for the campaign that you have planned. All right, so you can scale your server up for those 15 days, and on the 16th day you can scale it down. You will be charged for a bigger server for 15 days, and for the rest of the days you will be charged for the normal server that you have. All right, so it's not like you can choose a plan for the entire month and you will have to pay for it regardless of if you have used it or not. All right, you will only pay for what you have used. So these are the three, I think, the main differentiating factors that we have at Cloudways that makes users want to choose Cloudways.
Now I want to talk about another thing, which is something that has generally been, I think it's become a lot easier recently, is that black box of migration. Yeah, I'm with a hosting provider today. I want to move to another one. Let's say I'm on a traditional hosting plan. I'm not getting the value that I'm paying for. I want to move to another traditional host or a cloud host. How simple is it nowadays to migrate websites and specifically with Cloudways? What do you guys do around supporting customers and helping them on their journey to move from one host to another?
Well, migration is tricky. I won't go out and say it's very simple. Everyone should just do it. I wouldn't say that because it's tricky, and especially if you have a large business, you have a huge data. It's difficult and it's even tiresome to just think about migrating your entire site, entire business to a different host. All right, and I won't go out and say that it's very simple. It's not. So, but we at Cloudways have made it as simple as we can. How? If you have a WordPress website and you want to migrate it on Cloudways, we have our own migrator plugin. All you have to do is install that plugin, download it first of all, install it on your website, and it will open a form. Just enter your data on it, and it will take care of the migration. It does take around 3 to 4 hours, depending on the size of your website, but it does everything automatically. All right, you don't have to do anything when it comes to migration to Cloudways, and that is the simplest method of migration that we offer. Another way of migrating your site to Cloudways is the support assisted migration. So, for example, you have decided to come on Cloudways, you have made up your mind. Now you want to migrate your site to our platform. How you're gonna do it is that you're gonna contact our support agent and give him the access to your application, and he will do the migration for you. And that also takes up around 2 to 3 to 4 hours, depending on the size of your website. But these are the two ways that you can migrate your site to WordPress. And we understand that migration is tricky, it's difficult. It involves a lot of pressure as well. So because and complications too, because
Yeah.
a lot of things can go wrong when migrating website. You can lose your data. Your website will be down for a while. And keeping all those things in mind, we have come up with these two solutions that minimizes and almost eradicates every complication, and obviously gives the users the peace of mind that we offer.
Yeah, and that's all included in whichever plan you choose. Yeah.
Yes.
Free
Yes.
free website migration.
Yes.
Either way you go. Yeah, because that is a big concern. Is data. You've been where you are. You've built up, a lot of customers. You've built up a lot of traffic and all the data that goes with it. So it is important that everything makes it from point A to point B. Yeah. Good. So thanks for all of that. I mean, it's very interesting, to get to know a bit more about what Cloudways does. Let's talk about the upcoming holiday season for you guys. Yeah, It is the holiday season. We've got Black Friday coming up. We've got Cyber Monday coming up. And it's a crucial part of the year for the consumer as well. They anxiously wait for this time of the year to tap into some deals that vendors have to offer them, and they make a lot of their business decisions based on that as well.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing this year?
Well, the holiday season is the biggest time of year for us in terms of the campaigns that we run and the business in general. And as you really rightly mentioned, that it's a big time of year for the end users as well, especially the e-commerce store owners, because they would be looking to get as many sales as they can during the holiday season, because people are going crazy over things and discounts and everything. So what we have planned this year is a coupon that we release every year. This year it's BFCM 2021. It's going to be, the offer will be 40% off for 4 months on all plans. And this is something that we think will allow users to ease their decision making process when they're coming to Cloudways, because of the discount that we are offering. And the campaign basically revolves around gearing up your store and preparing for the upcoming holiday season. All right, and how are you going to do that? We have a PFCM week that we have planned, where we will be releasing webinars and different talks on different topics that concerns e-commerce store owners. So we have the entire week planned out. For example, on Monday we can be talking about security. On Tuesday we'll be talking about performance, and so on. In conversion and optimization. Yeah, so
it's going to be a busy time for you guys as well.
Absolutely, and we are all busy in planning that as we speak. So we have all these things planned out for PFCM. Another thing that we have is a speed contest. So we have the e-commerce speed up contest, where we will be inviting developers to participate in the contest, where they will have to speed up an e-commerce store that we have built ourselves. And it's sluggish, it's slow, and the user experience is pretty bad, and the score on GT metrics is the worst, right? And all they have to do is speed up that site, and whoever gets the best result will obviously be getting prizes. So this is something that we have planned out, and then the theme of e-commerce and holiday season and everything, to engage our customers with Cloudways. A contest is almost ready and coming up.
Yeah, that sounds exciting. I mean, a bit of a contest for the tech junkies out there, to really take a site and put your SEO and these types of skills to the test, and make sure you can get good scores. No, I mean, excellent. And just for everybody watching and listening, I'll put some links in the description anyways for some of the deals that Mohiz and I have been talking about. What else? What else is going on? I think I've asked a lot of questions. Is there anything you want to ask me?
I mean, the BFCM is coming up. What are you planning to do in that period? Anything specific? Any campaign that you have planned?
I mean, look, it's important for us to support the brands. Yeah. And that's why having some of these conversations at critical times is important, and that's why I'm happy that we have this conversation, before the holiday season. Sharing this podcast with viewers, listeners, not only about the holiday season. For me, it's about exposing the brand. A deal is only as good as what happens after that period. So for me, it's generating that exposure on social media, with podcast, YouTube channel, to get people to know what they're signing up for. The deal that they're getting is a bonus, but what happens after? Because unfortunately, you do get a lot of deals where at the end of the deal, it's no longer a deal. So for us, it's yes, we generate a lot of exposure. We try to generate a lot of exposure for good, well-known brands. On all platforms. So we've got the podcast, we've got the website, we've got the YouTube channel, we've got the podcast on various platforms, Apple, Spotify, Google Podcast, etc. And then obviously social media. We're quite active on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and even recently as well, TikTok. TikTok has historically not been sort of a business platform, but that landscape has changed significantly as well. And it's a lot of good organic traffic. If you target the right people, you can get very good organic traffic.
Absolutely.
So we're trying to be active there as well.
Because I've always thought that running a podcast is very tricky, especially in the niche that you are in. WordPress, even if you search WordPress podcast, you're going to find hundreds of different resources, hundreds of different people talking about the same thing. And what makes what makes your podcast, and what have you planned to differentiate yourself with the other podcasts that are already releasing content on probably the same topic?
Look, we're definitely not the first to be talking at Cloudways, I'm sure. But for me, it's about being true. It's about not putting up something you're not. At the end of the day, people like to see and to hear authenticity. And that's what it's about for me. I'm not putting up a show. It's really about, like you said, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of content providers similar to us that talk about the same things. And you'll have a certain part of the demographic that like their way of content, and you'll have a certain part of that demographic that likes our way of producing content. And I think that's what you need to focus on is find that identity. And build on that identity. Stay true. Serve the market, serve the customer. Try and see what your community wants, and emphasizing that as much as you can. And I think that's what we're doing. We try to be true to ourselves. We listen to the community. If the community says we don't like this, we see how we can do it differently. Because at the end of the day, having a podcast, having a YouTube channel, having all of that exposure is not for us as a business, it's for the community. So we've got to listen to the community. And I think so far we've done pretty well. But it's still very early days, but we definitely in it for the long run. And really excited, to connect with vendors, to connect with the community, and just have good conversation.
Because the point that you mentioned, what the community wants, I think it works for us in the same way as well, because we always have branded ourselves as a customer-centric company, a customer-centric brand. So we try to introduce features that the customers want. We try to listen to our customers, and that it works for you in the same way as well, that you try to listen to the community and come up with the content that they want. So I think it more or less in coming up with new content and coming up with new features, I think the process is similar.
And I mean, that's the important part. You're not going to have success with a podcast or with a channel or with your social media if you don't have a community. That's what it's all about, is growing that community. So if you're creating content for the community, by the community, if you want to call it that, it's could only go one way. So that's good. Anything else?
No, I think we have covered a lot of points, a lot of good points in this podcast. I think I had
No, it's been good. I mean, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to him. He's, thanks for setting aside some time for me today. It was really enriching to learn a bit more about Cloudways and to speak to you, of course.
Yeah, and I would like to thank you as well for inviting me on here, and it's always good to speak to someone from the community as well. So yeah, thanks. Thank you so much.
No, you're very welcome, and it was really great to have you. So thanks for joining us. And to the listeners out there, I mean, thanks for watching, thanks for listening from wherever you are. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. We're on Apple, we're on Spotify, Google, YouTube, wherever you can find the Ultimate WordPress Guide. And as I mentioned earlier, if you're interested in any of the deals that Mohiz and I talked about today, I'll put some links in the description, and you can reach out to Cloudways and get yourself familiarized with cloud hosting and with Cloudways in general. So thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye for now.